We study families and civil society. We've been there for about 20 years, and what we mainly do is bring together teams of scholars from the U.S. and other parts of the world to investigate child well-being and family structure. The European countries vary a great deal, but one of the things that I think they could do is to look at America as an experiment that has happened for about 40 years in high divorce rates, high out-of-wedlock childbearing, kind of the Wild West when it comes to reproductive technologies, and there's a real opportunity for European nations to see what America perhaps has done wrong as well as what it has done well, and maybe craft their policies differently in order to benefit the next generation of children. For instance, making sure to support marriage when possible. Some European nations are leaders in making sure that children have rights to know who their fathers are, even when reproductive technology is involved. Being more open to social supports for children and families, which I think many European nations do a better job of that than we do in the U.S. So I think there are strengths in the European models that they can draw upon, and also learn from some of what the U.S. has not done well, and maybe do a better job for its children in the years to come. Children need their fathers. We see this time and time again, whether it's children of divorce, of single-parent childbearing, children whose fathers have abandoned them. I'm now doing a study on young adults who had sperm donor biological fathers, and they say the same thing. Children need their fathers. We want to know where we come from. We want to know and be in relationship with the fathers who gave us life. So one of the great tragedies, I think, for children today is how often fathers are not in the picture, not only because it's not always that they're bad guys, but the mothers and the society don't support the role of the father in the child's life. But if we take a child-centered point of view, we realize that children need to have their fathers, to know them, to be in relationship with them, and we need to help dads be able to do that and to do it well. I think you have wonderful opportunities working through the UN and in a European context really to address children's needs as a human rights issue. That's one of the things that we don't do that much in the U.S. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child was signed in 1989 by all nations of the world except the U.S. and Somalia. And in that document, the nations that signed it affirmed the child's right from birth to a name and identity, and whenever possible being raised by their parents. So there's a very strong formulation in international human rights law to protect the rights of children to know and be in relationship with their parents. And I think working through the UN and in the European context, you have a really tremendous ability, an opportunity to build on that record.